And the way that we can attain istiqamah is firstly to have the right beliefs about Allah, to have sound beliefs about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because what you believe about Allah will determine your entire life. And the way to do this is to go directly to the Quran. If you want to get the truth about who Allah is, you have to go to the Quran. I've not met anyone who has had some sort of istiqamah in life or istiqamah upon the deen, except that they have a good relationship with the Quran. Even if it's not amazing relationship, but they have some relationship with the Quran. And they've memorized some portions of the Quran. Even if it's a small amount, those are the people that I've noticed, even if they fall back, even if they sin, even if they commit major sins, they always come back because they have some connection with the Quran. You see, the Quran will bring clarity and purpose. It will re-clarify your purpose over and over again. It will bring Jannah and Jahannam, the afterlife. It will bring all of it to the forefront of your mind. And the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about these things, He creates a vivid picture in your mind, which gives you a clarity of this world. It lifts the veil of this life. The stuff, the dunya is covering our vision to see things for what it is. You need to go to the Quran first and foremost. And then the second thing is to work on continuous purification of the heart. When you get rid of the diseases of the heart, like getting rid of envy, getting rid of thinking badly of Allah, getting rid of greed, all these different diseases of the heart, having ego, having self-amazement, having pride, thinking too highly of yourself and looking down on other people. All of these things, when you get rid of these things, it will allow the fitrah to guide your heart. The fitrah will manifest itself and overpower the body, and it will allow you to remain firm. And you must take accountability because no one knows what's inside your heart except you. If you don't pay attention to your heart, no one can tell you that, oh, you have this disease. You can go to the doctor and get your limbs checked, your physiology checked. They'll tell you, okay, you have this problem, that problem, that problem, right? But no one can look inside your heart and say, this is what you have. Only you can diagnose it, and only you can rectify it through the help of Allah. And you see, Ibn Qayyim rahmallah, he says that a lot of people claim that they love Allah, but this is exposed during times of difficulty and hardship. When a person's spouse leaves them, right? They go crazy. They leave Islam. Someone gets divorced. They stop practicing Islam. Someone's family member dies. They stop practicing Islam. So what kind of love was that? Your love was dependent on what Allah gave you or the nice things that you had in your life. May Allah not test us with that and allow us to have istiqamah. And when you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you love His Sharia, this will keep you firm. It's important to develop that love towards Allah. And the third thing is to know that you either progress or you regress. There's no standstill. If you're not increasing in knowledge, in worship, in doing more acts and trying to get closer to Allah, you'll get further away from Allah. You can't reach a status and say, oh, I've made it now. No, you always have to be progressing or you're going to regress. A person could be practicing for 10 years, 15 years, but if you're not continuously working on your heart, on your iman, you're going to fall back to sins that you committed like 10, 15 years ago. And you thought, I will never commit this sin again. You'll fall back into it. And when you think about it, the only thing that actually keeps a person firm is really all that comes down to your iman. Because it becomes very easy for a person to become greedy if they're not working on their iman. For example, a person is doing business, they might become greedy. They might have started off with a good intention, but because they're not working on their heart, what happens? Now greed can take over. It's only your iman that keeps you firm. And the next thing is to make dua. Know that ultimately it's Allah that's keeping you firm. It's tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that keeps you firm upon His Islam. And this is why in Surah Al-Fatiha, we say, Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Guide us to the straight path, right? It's the same. The word mustaqim and istiqama is the same thing. Mustaqim means the straight path where there's no deviation. Mustaqim is the path, and istiqama is the act of you actually remaining upon that. So when you're reciting Surah Al-Fatiha and you're saying, "Oh Allah, guide me to the straight path," really mean it. This is what you're asking Allah for. The scholars say that the entire Surah Al-Fatiha is a dua. So when you say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Rahim, Malik Yawmiddin, you're mentioning the names and attributes of Allah, His greatness, because this is the etiquette of dua. You're mentioning Allah's greatness first. Then you say Malik Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Only you we worship Allah, and you're also showing your smallness before Allah, like how small you are before Allah. It's Allah is that great, and we are this small, and we are in need of Him. And now that you show that you need Allah, would you say, Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim, guide us to the straight path. This is the essence of what we're doing when we making dua or when we're praying and we're reciting Surah Al-Fatiha. We're asking Allah to keep us and give us this istiqamah upon the right path. And then what takes us to the next one is Sirat al-ladina an'amta alayhim, like the path of those who you were pleased with, the ones who you favored, the ones who were righteous from the prophets and from the people of the past and even present. Those people who you are pleased with, keep us on that path. So we should take those kind of individuals as our role models, and we should be around those type of people and leave off distractions. You see, one of the things that the shaitan does to take a person away from istiqamah is first, he will take this individual away from righteous company, right? A person, for example, he's practicing, he's praying, a sister might be wearing hijab. The first thing the shaitan will do is take this individual away from all their friends who are wearing hijab. Now, there's no sense of like shame, no sense of like upholding some rights and responsibilities towards Allah, right? So now, this is the first step to a person leaving off the good that they were doing. It's not about pleasing other people. It's not about being around righteous people so that we can pretend or anything like that. No, it's that you see, when you want that something is really important for you, you put yourself in that environment, right? You have to force yourself, you have to tame your nafs to want to be there. You have to tell your nafs, no, you want to get away so that you can do your haram, you can disobey Allah in private, and you have no one to tell you to come back to the right path. No, you tame your nafs. You say you're going to be with the righteous people until you become one of them. And one of the other things that keeps a person upon istiqamah is not looking down on other people. A sister might start practicing and she's wearing the hijab, so she'll look down on people who are not wearing hijab. A brother might start seeking knowledge, or he has some sort of righteous acts that he's doing, so now he looks down at people who are not seeking knowledge. You see, whatever you look down on others with, Allah will test you with the same thing. There's another hadith the Prophet ﷺ mentions that whenever the slave of Allah looks down on another slave, Allah will not take his life until he tests him with the same thing. And Imam Ghazali rahmallah, he says that having istiqamah is not easy in this life. And he says that having istiqamah is as difficult as crossing the bridge that is over the hellfire. He says both of them are finer than a strand of hair and sharper than a sword. So it's important that a person really pays attention to their deen. Because the shaitan, he either makes you very lazy or he makes you exceed and be overzealous. Because both of these things will cause failure. Both of these things will cause you to fall off.